And it looks like we do have Rob today for Leadership Insights. Rob, I've made you a speaker. Can you go ahead and test your mic, please?
Testing, testing. How's this?
It sounds great. Thanks,
Awesome.
Rob. Okay, great. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Horizen Weekly Insider number 153. Today is Monday, September 26th, and we are live on Twitter Spaces and YouTube. Please be aware that this call is being recorded and will be available later on to check out on the Horizen podcast. Please also be sure to send in your questions for the team via Mentee. The link is pinned to the top of the Twitter space. Today, we'll go ahead and kick it off with our engineering department as usual. Welcome, Alberto.
Thank you. So, hi everybody. As usual, let's start with Zundu. Okay, the main focus of last week was conducting code reviews and the related changes for some final pull requests or possible improvements to be included in the next version of Zundu. As you may know already, there is a planned software deprecation that is happening on the 21st of October. And because of this, a new software named ND 320 is going to be released in a few days. Currently, we are finalizing all the improvements to be included in the release, and the final testing phase is ongoing already. And in parallel, this week, we are also starting the first round of notification to all the partners to keep them informed. And I mean miners, node operators, exchanges, and so on. This is just the first round. We plan to have a total of 3 rounds to make sure everyone updates to the new software in time. Obviously, the full list of features and changes will be available in the changelog of file on GitHub and on a dedicated blog post that is going to be published this week as well. Apart from these, always related to Zundu, and last week we continued working on the changes related to the CCTP lib, the main chain crypto lib, and ZenD, obviously, in order to also support the additional key rotation mechanism. Finally, as a last point, last week we have also been working on aligning the CCTP lib version used by Zundu and by the SDK. Okay, so this was all related to Zundu, then switching to SDK, and in particular for what regards Blazed. I mean, 0.4.2 version is out, and it brought various improvements. And today we are also releasing 0.4.3, that also brings an additional fix to Sparks, which is the base and network layer. In addition to that, now we're also ready to start testing all the features included in the upcoming version that is named 0.5.0. And among those, we're going to include the forger list opening process, which we talked about some time ago, the fork manager functionality, and much more. Moreover, we're also going to include some other improvements to the Sparks component as a result of the code audit that we recently carried out and the highlights that were reported by the third-party auditing company. Then something else on which we have been working is a TPS stress test. And the execution of the first round is completed. Now we're extending the test with more complex scenario, with more nodes, forgers, delays. I mean, just to replicate a real scenario, not something that will not provide the proper numbers that we can use to take decisions. On the other hand, for what regards the AD session, we're working on the deliverable for milestone 2, and in particular for what regards the fee management mechanism. The changes requested after the code review have been completed, so now we are proceeding with merging all of them. And then about the orphan transaction management, also here a few changes requests emerged after the first level of code review, so those are now being addressed. And lastly, we're also working to merge all the contents from 0.4.2 release, and this is currently in progress, and right after we will start the merge of the 0.5.0 content. Okay, these were just some of the main points for today. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alberto. Now let's welcome Victor and Angie for the product and token mint updates.
Hi, Erika. For the VM sidechain, let's say the entire team is working to complete the work that was required to deliver the internal release called Milestone 2 with, let's say, the original scope closed. And we have proceed testing, as Alberto was mentioning before, the performance of the sidechain in general, and we kicked off some days ago with assessing also the VM sidechain itself from the transaction per second perspective. It's a long way to have, let's say, an idea, a real idea of the performance in a real world scenario. Actually, we have proceeded with an environment that is simulated and gives us, let's say, an idea on the potential critical aspects that we need to take care of. And actually, it was good because it highlighted some, let's say, weaknesses that we fixed, let's say, only because we had a huge amount of traffic that is not seen on other networks, or at least in some particular occasions. So it was good also to assess it for this particular corner cases or heavy peaks of traffic. We have also proceeded in testing the frameworks that can be used to interact with smart contracts and fake smart contract. With fake smart contract, I repeat myself, we intend native smart contracts that are not written, for example, in Solidity, but that comes out of the box with the sidechain. And we have, for example, the backward transfer functionality and also the forging stake that is managed in this way. And we completed the work required to show also the response from them. It was available already for normal smart contract. It required an additional piece of work to let it work also with native smart contracts. So we have managed to test it with Truffle successfully. That's all the updates I have. Back to you, Erika.
I can jump in for quick updates on the token mint side. So hi, everybody. So we're still performing some testing on the NFT generator side on testnet. So that's ongoing. And we're also going to be releasing Token Mint with an update of our SDK version 0.4.3. And this is required just to keep things aligned and having the proper updates that SDK 0.4.3 addresses with Token Mint on mainnet. So the team is going to be working on that in the following days. And also Token Mint is having ongoing audits. This is something that we've also pay attention to very closely. So we make sure that our systems and the different stack is being audited constantly. So that's it for now. We will have more updates and news regarding NFT functionality to mainnet soon. But please just be aware that we will have more news coming next. And if I can add just a very quick and exciting update, we just had a session internal for now of one of our of Punk's token and this game integration with Pipler, our partner. And we went through a round of testing with this game integration, which was very exciting. And I know there's going to be some exciting news coming up from the team. So expect that to be ready really, really soon. Back to you, Erika. Thanks, everyone.
Super exciting. Thank you, Angie. Now let's welcome Vano for the BD updates.
Thank you, Erika. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. So from latest integrations, Zen has been integrated at Bitmart Exchange, which is top 30 exchange and offers our community yet another venue to get Zen. And really happy to welcome Bitmart to our community and hoping to finalize several more integrations that are in the works right now. And soon I will be share news with you all. Also, as Alberto mentioned, we started the first round of notifications regarding the new Zundu version. And as always, like we are giving everyone, our partners, ample time ahead of update to let them prepare and support everyone and have them on board for the new version. That's all from me. Back to you, Erika.
Thank you, Vano. And now let's welcome Rob for the leadership updates and Q&A session.
Well, thank you, Erika. Hopefully everyone can hear me just fine. Obviously, there's a lot of business as usual that you heard. And by business as usual, I mean that our team's just really crunching on all fronts on doing some great stuff. So I do want to kick this off, though, with I know I've been out for a couple of weeks with traveling and then, finally getting back home, actually just the tail end of last week. But Zen Con 0, guys, amazing, huge success. I have to say it was awesome to be able to see our entire team and extended team and community, especially the people that decided to come in from all different parts of the world to join us and partners. Honestly, such a great event. The ops team did a fantastic job putting it together. And I can't wait for Zen Con 2023. So stay tuned for that one. Also want to do a shout out to our friend Barry Silbert for mentioning Horizen in response to one of Balaji's tweets, actually yesterday or the day before, over the weekend, where Balaji said two of the biggest innovations in crypto have been Ethereum and Zcash, and the industry really needs like a Zethereum, like a combination of the two. Barry responded and said, "That's Horizen." So really awesome, because couldn't agree more. I mean, this is exactly the approach that we're taking, is blending the idea of Ethereum smart contracting with zero knowledge proofs and interoperability. You guys know the story for those who have been tracking us for some time. So I'm really pumped that the word is getting out there. And especially as we deliver the EVM, I think it's going to be even more clear. And then we'll cultivate a very exciting roadmap beyond that. A couple of things I want to mention just on the delivery front. So Token Mint, you've heard the details there, just in terms of we had a really cool, successful demo of our first game on Token Mint with Kong Hero. So Jonathan and his crew at Layer 3 Technologies, rebranded from Pipeline. Just from what I've heard, and I haven't played it yet, guys, just to throw that out there, huge success, and the team's just loving it from the demo earlier today that I wasn't on, but I can't wait to see it, play the game myself, and to the community, check it out, because this is the first like real non-crypto native application running in our network on our system. That's just super cool. It's a huge win for us. It's the first of what will be many games and then other applications that are going on. I will say, though, this is, like Angie said, this is the first, or will be the first significant stress test of Token Mint in production. So even for that, I'm really pumped. I'm pumped to see how the system is able to handle a substantial increase in network traffic. So we're looking forward to it. You can tell we've been doing this rollout with Token Mint very, call it conservative and deliberate, because again, for sidechain and production, but also we have a lot of other things going on. So we've intentionally held off on promoting the chain because, one, the EVM's coming, right? And then two, to really get the max value of all of these different chains that we'll have in the Horizen ecosystem, we really need that sidechain to sidechain protocol to go live and to be integrated into them. Now, we've been sitting on this strategically and just kind of maturing it in a conservative fashion, because we don't know exactly what the ecosystem will look like a year or 2 years from now, in the sense that we are delivering the EVM and we have a hunch that a lot of the activity is going to happen on that smart contracting platform. But what I will say is I'm getting even more excited with Token Mint when you see things like Kong Hero going live. And I have this feeling that Token Mint may actually end up surprising everyone. So point number two that I want to make is just revisiting the EVM project. And you heard update from Victor, and you guys have been hearing us over the last several weeks, minus the interlude for Zen Con 0, just with updates there. We did have a hiccup on the project, and we're just getting over that hiccup. And by hiccup and just getting over it, explicitly what I mean is that we're going to have something like a 3-month slip on it. We've been communicating this. I think, though, whenever you have any kind of slip or something going, not according to plan, it's really important to communicate and then over communicate and then over communicate again, right? So that's what we're doing here. And I just want to share with you guys the latest, even though things aren't really finalized in terms of delivery date. It's looking like order of magnitude 3-month slip. What happened exactly is that as we were going to test that with what we were working on, we realized that we needed, or we should, upgrade the certifier circuit. Right, so we need, number one, the highest security we possibly can get on the system, because we do expect a lot of TVL to be on there. We do expect a lot of usage. So we need to make sure that what we go live with really just is production quality. And in this sense, we need just like flexibility to rotate keys. We need, in case a key gets compromised, we need to be able to swap it out for another one. We need to make sure that as things change, the system itself is upgradable. Upgradable in a number of different ways. And as an example, if we want to change consensus, If or when for sure we want to layer in the sidechain protocol into these sidechains, we want to make sure we don't have to scrap the chain and relaunch a new one. All of these considerations went into like a kind of an emergency deep dive that the team did. And it turns out that our friends at IOHK had already worked on a circuit that ends up suiting our needs perfectly. And the team's already been working on it and scoped it out and really racing forward on getting that circuit completed. But what it means, though, is everything slips to the right. So this is very much a worthwhile upgrade to the system. And I don't take slips like this lightly. This is a really big deal for us, and it's not something that we're going to brush over. We're going to be communicating with you guys explicitly on every bit of change that goes into this, but it's worth it. So my assessment is it's definitely worth it. We're going to do it because what we were racing into production with previously just doesn't meet our needs in terms of security, flexibility, and upgradability. Like, we want to make sure that from the user experience, everything from if you trust the system to put real money on, like if TVL actually gets locked into it, or if we need to upgrade it to be more performance competitive longer run, which we definitely need to do, this is the better solution, right? So yeah, it sucks to have this 3-month delay, but it's definitely worth it. And we're going to make sure that we get actual project plans out to you guys, and we track that weekly like we always do. So anyway, on a positive note, this gives us another 3 months to really plan our day one launch strategy properly. And the team's doing a ton of great work there, Spencer and the strategy crew, to make sure that we actually get a successful day one launch in terms of the right DApp mix, the right partners out there, maybe the right bridges, the right marketplaces, all the things that we want in a day one launch to be successful. Now we have more time to do, and the team already set the stage to have a successful day one launch. So this just increases the odds even more. So anyway, I'll stop here. We can open it up potentially to questions if you guys have it on any of this, or really anything else that you want to talk about. That's all I got.
Okay, great. So we do have our top 3 questions for the week already. So the first one is, when is Horizen going to release a new roadmap?
All right, well, it's a really good one. I'm actually going out to Milan next week. Again, maybe I shouldn't announce my travel plans, but doing it, and I'm going to be meeting with the team in person. This is one of our big agenda items, is to just rethink our strategy, and especially now that we're kind of on the path already for delivering what we wanted to do this year. Our typical approach is we do a big executive committee meeting with all the leads and managers in the group to discuss end of year. We're planning on doing that this year in November. We're going to do a ton of prep work leading into it. So we have something like 5 or 6 weeks before that session. So that's why I'm heading out there, to do really the grunt work on getting our strategy teed up. And then we're going to have strategy sessions in November, and then we'll craft the roadmap for official communications with you guys so that we can actually get feedback, iterate if needed, if you guys don't like what's coming. But what I will say is, now's the time to voice preferences, to weigh in on things that you think we should be doing. A lot of it's just pretty straightforward, in the sense that we want to launch a lot of side chains. We want our EVM to go to market. We think that EVM as a sidechain itself is going to be a powerful value prop for a lot of different use cases. We know we need interoperability. We know we need compatibility, the things that have been on our roadmap for a while. We just need to do a lot more of. But also, this is that opportunity to rethink some deep questions of where do we go as strategically? What is the value prop for Horizen in the industry? Because a lot's changed in the last 5 years, and every year I think we need to be incorporate new information, new minds, and craft a plan. So hopefully that's an answer that is decent enough. And in the next couple of months, you should see official communications on it. And by official, I mean just from this team.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is, are you starting to plan the next Zen Con already? Will it be in Milan next year?
It was such a great event. It's a great question. And I'll tell you, in my head, at least, we're planning on it, but no actual concrete plans. The team needs a little bit of time to chill out and digest everything that happened. You're going to see a lot of extra media come out, though. So for those that missed it and want to get a glimpse of how cool it was, we'll have more videos and pictures and everything forthcoming. In terms of location, my preference is to rotate location, even though we do have a pretty fantastic setup in Milan. I think it'd be cool, even for the the team that we have there to be able to go somewhere else. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Now for the third and final question. How is Horizen and Horizen Labs' financial condition given the bear market?
Much better than we ever thought it would be, just in terms of, we had quite a bit of financial success earlier in the year, much more than needed to operate this project. Now, there is a difference though, for sure, and we need to be clear about that difference is you have the public treasury, and the public treasury is, definitely took a beating, like a really big beating with the, just overall crypto market with Zen price going down. So until that recovers, I wouldn't expect a large amount of funding to be able to come out of the public treasury side. The good news is Horizen Labs is committed to deploying, the technology that we're working on with this year's roadmap and supporting Horizen long term, in particular because we think it's the perfect environment to deploy our own products into the market. So for now, we're totally fine because Horizen Labs is sitting on quite a bit of capital. The treasury does have funding coming in that's at least minimal enough to keep the lights on, but we really do need to just be conservative as an ecosystem and make sure that we're doing everything that makes sense. This is the thing of just because we have money today doesn't mean that we should just keep the status quo. We really should be constantly revisiting our strategy, making sure that we're expending resources in the best way possible and working on the right things. But as of now, everything is way better than we could have ever imagined over the last 5 years.
Awesome. So we have time for the fourth question, but you kind of already answered it. The question was, do you plan to release all videos of the main stage from Zen Con 0? And we will be answering we will be releasing those videos soon. You just have to be sure to follow us and check out our social media since we'll be releasing them over the next couple of weeks. And that is it for today's Weekly Insider. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you all have a great week.